And I had never been told a bunch of things that were contained in that investigation by somebody that proclaimed himself to be a 9/11 truther. And that was Alex Jones. For over 10 years, he was telling me what he thought was the cause of 9/11, talking about nanothermite and every other thing to divert my attention, I believe, from what was true. And that was the information that Dr. Judy has revealed. That's the stuff they've been concealing from us.
That's absolutely right. Now, Pete, let's talk about our interview on your show. It seems that InfoWars trolls hacked our first broadcast. What measures will you be taking to prevent those boneheads from interfering with your quality broadcasting?
You know, there are, because of the nature of the topics that I discuss, I go after the banksters. I talk about the $43 trillion lawsuit. I know firsthand from working with my clients and bankruptcy attorneys and foreclosure defense attorneys. I know exactly what they're doing, what the banks have been doing out there to just literally steal homes. That's what they're doing in the United States of America. So I've gone up against the banks as a consumer advocate and even vocally on the air. I've gone up against now, when I talk about 9/11 truth, especially as it relates to Dr. Judy Wood's topics, we're talking about the potential for shutting down the oil and electric industry because the information contained in that investigation reveals that there is free energy that was used on 9/11. It was used. It's not even a conspiracy theory. So going up against those two entities, the banksters and big oil and the electric industry, you bet they're going to spend money to send trolls after me. Trolls who probably don't even know where the money's coming from. So I've got hackers after me. I've got we call them trolls. They're people that are specifically designed to divert me away from the important news that we cover. And they put out hit pieces and stuff. You know what? You know how I'm going to handle it? We're putting protective measures as to building our systems as a large or operation would have to do. So a large operation that gets a lot of internet traffic. So I'm going to have security measures to protect and replicate our systems. We're actually putting those systems in place now. And then other than that, guess how I'm going to deal with them? I'm going to ignore them pretty much. I'm just going to focus on the truth, and I'm not going to be deterred by those trolls. That's what they're designed to do, is to take you off the task of bringing the truth to the listeners.
Absolutely. Now, you played a clip from Jones during our interview when he talked about Stalin and communism. I just wanted to ask you, why did you decide to play that clip on air during our broadcast? And also, our listening audience knows how Jones himself could possibly be being used for the implementation of communism. Your thoughts?
You know, and even still, and that's a very, very important point. He may be an unknowing tool, and I said unknowing tool because I had to analyze it and say, you know, who's coaching this guy? I mean, if Alex Jones's intention was to go there, and he's a smart guy, okay, he knows how to market.
Yeah.
For if it was his intention to go get in front of Piers Morgan and stick his finger in his face, especially, here's the most important thing. He's told his listeners to actually stand down. He's told his listeners, let the redcoats occupy. Stand down, let them rape women, let them do. This is what he's telling his listeners. And then it's tens of millions of listeners. Then he gets on Piers Morgan and he says, we will rise up and you will blah, blah, blah. And he acted like a tough guy. And well, he just told 30 million people to listen to him, to stand down. And then he's getting in front of Piers Morgan saying, I'm going to fight you in front of the liberals, which I think that's very instigatory, right?
Yes.
And I'm thinking, why would he be doing this? Somebody's coaching him to tell him to do this, to create what I call, well, not what I call, what is representative of a tactic in implementing communism, is divide and conquer.
Absolutely. You know, I think it's funny that he goes and he debates Piers Morgan, but why doesn't he debate journalists and radio show hosts such as myself or you? I'm not going to. I'm debating Alex Jones. I'll never ever speak to Alex Jones. I already know what he is, and this is what I believe to be true, and I'll share that with my audience. I'm not going to speak to him. I don't think at this point in time that Alex Jones is of the integrity that I would want to be debating a serious issue that impacts all Americans. I believe that he attracts a very small relatively small sliver of Americans that are not awakened to his tactics. What I would rather do is to propel people like really a Sheriff Mack, a Stuart Rhodes, a Larry Pratt. These people are the true ambassadors of the issues that we need to be talking
in the public about and educating our public. As far as debating issues with like Piers Morgan, I'd rather have Larry Pratt go to Piers Morgan. Let's have representatives that are ambassadorial per se, that know how to articulate it, not fall apart or intentionally fall apart like Alex Jones did. I'd rather have those debates occur at that end. But you and I debating Alex Jones, how productive do you think that would be?
I think it would end up in an all-out fist fight.